Hi guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be talking about how this pandemic has hit our Jamaican dollar. I know recently it has been trading for over $147 to one. Now, with this rapid devaluation of the dollar, there are a few things that we need to take into consideration for the future. But before that, please like, subscribe, and share. If you're just subscribing, please turn on post notifications so every time I drop a new video, you'll be notified. You can also follow me on Twitter at JARadcliffe2030 or on Instagram at JARadcliffe. So since this pandemic, the FX rate has been trending up, with the Jamaican dollar devaluing about 7% since March, and no, that is just 3 months. You can imagine 7% in 3 months. When I checked the BOJ historical rates, the rate for May 21st was $146 to one. Now, if you decide to buy your US, you're not going to get it for 146 to one, because when you go to your local cambio, they're going to put something on it. So if they're selling you, let's say 100 US, they may sell it to you for $146.50, because if they're buying it from BOJ for 146, they want to make a bit of money for themselves. So that 50 cents right there is their money. But if you're going to sell them 100 US, then they might take it from you at say 145.50, hypothetically speaking, because this is what we call a spread. This spread is how the cambios make their money. So when they sell it back or whatever they do, they will try to sell it back higher than what they purchased it from you, or to sell you the US higher than what they purchased it for. Well, same thing at the end of the day, so really same difference. So when you look into it, guys, a lot of things in our economy right now depend on this US dollar. So when the US dollar is climbing like this and climbing like this, we can be sure that we are going to get some price increases soon. Now, you may be saying that it might not translate over to you right now in the short term, but let me just tell you something. If you look at your JPS bill every month, it always comes with a portion of it that says FX rate. Now, this FX rate is how JPS is calculating the US that they spent in order to supply you with electricity. When I check my recent JPS bill, the most recent one, I noticed that it had an FX rate of $135.39. Now, the one before that had an FX rate of $137. So what this goes to show is that not because you may not be doing any transactions that require US right now, it doesn't mean that you're not affected by this shift in the FX rate. Plus, if you've been following the news, we all know that JPS currently is also asking for what I think is about an 8% increase right now. The next place that we can look for price rises is in food and household supplies. Jamaica imports a lot. Now, I don't know any distributor that is going to sacrifice their profit margin to absorb this movement in the FX rate. But they still have time to prove me wrong. Now, even the foods that we manufacture in Jamaica, they need raw materials. Take bread, for example. When we produce bread, we need flour. Now, flour is not grown commercially in Jamaica, so we will need to get it from somewhere. And at the end of the day, the universal currency is, you guessed it, the US dollar. So right here, we see where we are going to still be needing more US dollars to buy the things that we need. And at the end of the day, with a more expensive US dollar, it's going to translate into a more expensive product. Now, I know many of you may be thinking why the Bank of Jamaica doesn't just intervene and try to drive the price down. Well, in recent times, what BOJ has been doing is to be focusing more on managing the inflation rate more than the foreign exchange rate. They're pretty much leaving the foreign exchange rate up to the market to decide where it is. So right here we see where supply and demand is going to affect it. But even if BOJ was to intervene in the market, personally, I know it wouldn't be sustainable. I read an article recently where even the governor of the Bank of Jamaica is saying that to intervene in the foreign exchange market is not sustainable. What they would use to intervene in the market is the NIR. We call the Net International Reserve. So that's Jamaica's reserve of foreign exchange that they keep on hand should anything happens. For example, just like our pandemic right now. The NIR currently is about 3 billion US dollars right now. If we are going to use the 3 billion in the NIR account to try and stabilize the market, one thing we can say, it will run out at some point in time. How are we going to replenish it? Because right now, our two main sources of foreign exchange currently pretty much in the bin. Normally we get foreign exchange from tourism and remittances. So all the tourists come in, they spend their US dollars and so on. You have your family overseas, they can send you some money here and there. So that's how we normally get our US or foreign exchange. For tourism, not sure when that is going to open up back. So we know that tourists aren't going to be coming here anytime soon to be spending their money. Next, we have remittances. Right now in the US, over 30 persons are registered to be unemployed. Now I know this figure, it may seem a bit large, but trust me, it's actually bigger than that. Reason being, not everybody is going to register for unemployment. There are a lot of persons in the US that are illegal in the US. So are these persons going to register to collect unemployment benefit? No. So only persons legally in the US are going to register for unemployment benefits. I was talking to a family member recently. He came back from the States about early March. He said he had a friend there. What he was doing was he was in the construction industry there at the time, but he came back. He said he had a friend, and that friend had over 10,000 US saved up before this pandemic. And he said by late April, this 10,000 US was pretty much non-existent. Everything done. He had to spend all of his money to pretty much fund his lifestyle because he has his family, he has his kids, he has to buy food, pay rent, and all of these things. So normally, I can tell you, he possibly would be one of these persons to be sending back some money to, let's say, his mother, his brother, and so on. No, I am sure if I had $10,000 before the pandemic in March, and now I'm pretty much down to pot scrapings, I would not be thinking about sending any money to Jamaica because anybody in Jamaica would need to be fending for themselves right now. I would need to be protecting myself in the United States right now. That is also grappling with the pandemic. So from here, guys, it may get worse before it starts getting better. Oil prices are currently low, so that may help to offset some of our JPS bill. But then again, I'm not seeing any of these low oil prices at the pumps. Every time I go to buy gas, it's still all the way up in the $130 ranges. But who knows? In truth though, guys, what we really need to do is actually start buying more Jamaican products. We need to start investing in our own products, buying our own food, and trying to manufacture our own goods and more of our own services. Because of the whole pandemic and persons having less places to sell their goods, I'm seeing where both political parties have started to do a lot of farmers market. Now, I think this is a very good initiative, and we as Jamaicans need to start supporting these initiatives. We need to start supporting our local farmers and move away from all these imported goods. And this is how we're going to combat our need for foreign exchange. Because if we stop buying all of these foreign goods, then we don't need to pay for them anymore. So the person that needed to buy the foreign exchange, to buy these goods, no longer needs it, right? So right there, that frees up a portion of the foreign exchange that we would need to buy these goods. So thank you for watching, guys. So as I said, this whole foreign exchange thing, it is going to be a big boon for Jamaica. But if we play our cards right, we may come out of this better off than we went in. Now, as always, guys, my videos are all intended for educational purposes. So before you follow any advice on my channel, please ensure that you get all the necessary information. So do your own research, all right? Bye-bye. you.